Today we're going to be doing a review on Inside Out. I recently saw Pixar's Inside Out. I totally loved it. But before we get into it, let's talk about Audible.com for just a hot minute. I've read a ton of books. I've listened to a ton of books on there. I've listened to The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. That was actually a lot of fun. If you're into Gone Girl, I think you'll kind of enjoy it. It's like the Who Murdered the Wife situation. We have The Fold by Peter Clines. I had a lot of fun listening to The Fold. If you are into teleportation horror, if you like The Fly or Event Horizon or things like that, you might totally dig The Fold by Peter Clines. I highly recommend it. I've also listened to Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse. And that was actually really great. I learned a lot of valuable spiritual things from listening to Siddhartha. I also highly recommend it, especially if you're going through any sort of spiritual moments in your life and you need something to hold on to. This is a good one. And then most recently, I am listening to The Jesus Incident by Frank Herbert and Bill Ransom. I'm so excited about it. So yeah, I've been on a big kick lately. Now that it's summertime, I've been going on my walks, been listening to my books on my walks. I'm loving it. Audible has over 1,500 different types of books and periodicals and all sorts of things you can listen to. Makes you a better person. You can get one free month if you've never had one ever before. If you've never done Audible, you can go to audible.com/comicbookgirl to get one free book, one free month. It's going to be totally awesome. I tried it just because I was doing these ads and I love it and I fucking keep listening to books all the time. So highly recommend Audible. Check it out. And hey guys, I want to remind you again to check out Epic History X-Men Volume 1. It's now for free on YouTube. And Volume 2, Epic History X-Men Volume 2, will be out in July, the end of July. We're so excited for it. So be on the lookout on Vimeo On Demand.
Come on, group hug. You too, Anger.
Don't touch me.
So now let's get into my review of Inside Out. First, I'm going to do a spoiler-free segment. Then we're going to get into spoiler territory. I will let you know when the spoiler territory starts happening. Even though I don't have children personally, I find myself always going to see Pixar movies because they're always so good. And Pixar is like one of the only people who are somehow able to turn out original movies in this day and age. I mean, I know that we've seen the idea of different people controlling people inside their heads, such as like Herman's head or something like that. I mean, this isn't necessarily a brand new concept, but the way they execute it is completely new, completely novel, and it completely works. It's so solid. I cried 3 times during it, but I was also working out some personal business. So, I mean, you know, it was just touching on things I was already thinking about, but it was totally amazing. And so let me give you a brief synopsis of what the movie's about. It is about a little girl, Riley. Her and her family, they move. But a lot of this movie takes place within her mind. You get to know her emotions. Apparently, all of us have these little emotions, people that live in our brains, and they control us. There's like a little control monitor, and they push buttons and stuff like that, and they make you do certain things and all this stuff. And it sounds like a really bizarre concept, like feelings having feelings. What a weird concept. But it totally works. Like, they totally made this work. I love how they showed you like how the mind works, how memories are these like little balls, these little glowing balls. And if you have like a mad memory, it's like a red ball. And if you have a disgusted memory, it's a green ball. And a joyful memory is a gold ball. I just thought it was just fantastic. It was such a great way to talk about that. I can't believe it just works so well. And it also like helped me to understand my own brain better. Like, I felt like I had a better understanding of my own emotions after watching this movie, which was amazing. That's such a wonderful, beautiful thing. As usual, the voice acting was super on point. Amy Poehler as Joy was great. Mindy Kaling, as discussed, was amazing. Bill Hader was great. Louis Black as Anger is like a no-brainer. Like, it's such an amazing, perfect casting. You couldn't even get better than that.
Pizza sounds delicious.
Pizza?
Yes, pizza.
Right on, that's good. What the heck is
Who
that?
puts broccoli on pizza?
That's it. I'm done.
Congratulations, San Francisco. You've ruined pizza. First the Hawaiians, and now you.
But I also really loved Kyle MacLachlan. Paul Atreides, the Kwisatz Haderach, was voicing the dad, and I'm always excited to see Kyle MacLachlan doing anything. But most of all, I really enjoyed Phyllis Smith and how she voiced Sadness. Sadness was definitely like one of my favorite characters. She was so great. I totally loved it.
Show me where we're going.
Okay, only I'm too sad to walk. Just give me a few
Hours? Oh!
Now, let's get into spoiler territory. Let's talk about some specific things that I really, really enjoyed. I'm going to start with some of the sillier, smaller stuff that really got me. So when they're in Imagination Land, I loved the little boy machine that made these like little fantasy boy lovers for her, where he's just like, I would die for Riley. And then in the end, where she like gets all of the little boys and makes a ton of them and makes a giant like I would die for you Riley bridge, was like so fucking funny. I couldn't even stand it. Another thing that I can't believe that I really enjoyed was the character of Bing Bong. When I first saw him, he's the pink elephant cat imaginary friend character, and I thought immediately when I saw him that I hated him because he's like just some lame Jar Jar Binks character, you know. But then by the end of it, when he sacrifices himself, and I was just like crying so hard when he was like fucking flying away into nothingness. I was dying. I can't believe they fucking made me love Bing Bong. I can't fucking believe it. It was amazing. Let me tell you about the other times that I cried in the movie. Goofball Island. When Goofball Island fell through, I was like dying, because like I remember when Goofball Island fell for me when I was a kid and some shit went down, and then it was just over. It was just like there was no more fun to be fucking had in life, and that island was just gone. Oh my god, so amazing. Like the Islands of Personality situation is just totally brilliant. The third time I cried was when Sadness finally gets her moment to go to the console and like let Riley let it out, you know, because it's like, okay, in this whole movie, I was talking to like my dental hygienist about it when I was getting my teeth cleaned the other day, and she was asked me, she's like, well, why was Sadness touching all the memory balls? You know, why did she keep trying to like touch the core memories and touch the other memories, and why were they turning sad and all this stuff? And I explained to her that it was because all these things in Riley's life had become sad. Like all of her memories of Minnesota that were so happy have now become sad memories because she no longer is able to be there anymore. She like Minnesota's not a part of her life anymore. And I just really loved the message of this whole situation, where it's like talking about how there's a time and a place for sadness. You know, it's like you don't want sadness running your shit all the time, of course, but like Joy was kind of an asshole in the end, because Joy wasn't letting this girl mourn her old life. Like she wasn't allowing her to mourn and accept that things have changed and go through that, because every time, like even if you're an upbeat fucking person, if something crazy happens in your life and your entire life is like started over in this new place, like you definitely need time to mourn that and be sad over that. And that's okay. You're supposed to be sad. You're not supposed to be happy all the time in life. Okay? You know, and it's crazy that people are made to feel like they're supposed to be happy all the time, because it's not productive and that's not healthy. And I love them with how they illustrated that in this movie, about how there was a time and a place for sadness, and she fucking killed it. So here's a couple of other like just little moments that I really enjoyed in the movie. Okay, so I really enjoyed when we finally got it to go into other people's heads, such as the mom and the dad, and when you see like what's going on inside Dad's brain and how they're just like all little angers and how they're all just like sports fans and stuff like that. It was like so funny. I was cracking up so hard at that. I also loved seeing the mom too, like inside her head. And if you notice, the sadness aspect of her personality is the one who's like the main driver on the console. You know, it's like the mom is like driven by sadness, which I thought was kind of funny, but also sweet and poignant. Like, and I thought that was a great little moment. Also at the very, very end, during the credit sequence where they show, you know, the inside of all these other different people's heads, I loved seeing the inside of the scary clown's head. Because earlier in the movie, you see that Riley has this memory of the scary clown, you know? It's like, oh my God, this is so terrifying, this crazy, scary birthday clown, you know? But when you finally actually see what he actually was in real life, and how he was just some dude who's just like 6 years of drama school for this, you know, working a shitty kid's birthday party, you know, but while accidentally instilling some fucked up fear in this kid forever, and he's just like sitting there like trying to make a buck. It was hilarious. And also, obviously, the dog and the cat scene at the very end, where they show inside a dog's brain, but inside a cat's brain, was like so funny. I was like dying laughing. It was so good. So inside a cat's head, apparently, All the emotions of a cat just kind of randomly walk around and into each other and play with each other, and then one will get up on the console for a hot minute and just start accidentally pressing different weird buttons, which make cats like freak out and stuff. Like that's why they just have random freakouts. And I just thought that was just such a brilliant way to show that. And I'm really impressed overall with how this entire concept is just a really solid map of how your emotions work, like a psychological profile of like how the inside of your brain works. And it's so well done that it can help you figure out how to use your own emotions, and like when your own emotions are taking over and you start realizing that there's all these different aspects of your personality and how that's just super beneficial for a lot of people. It's like, because a lot of us are just blown around by our emotions. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr, and get ready to see me at San Diego Comic-Con. If you're going to be there, I'll be there. Maybe you'll run into me. Over and out.